notice that it was up for longer?
It was.
It
was
yeah.
up a long time.
I was just telling the players while you were listening to that I'm actually working on the introduction and trying to get their actual faces to morph into their character faces, which would be absolutely fantastic. Fhaze, yours is really easy to do. Because all I'm doing is that I'm taking.
I don't have tattoos.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm just quickly drawing them on with a Sharpie.
It's okay then.
You just see your face, and this hand comes along, and goes, and then that's it. You are.
I am done.
And then you just need to tilt your head slightly over to one side, because for some odd reason your head's over to one side, and
yeah.
Your little
I'm listening.
You're listening. That's what you're doing. Okay, so let me give you a quick recap of what's happened. The party have been hired by a company, Jeremiah Crump, who runs a chain, or runs one restaurant called Hungry Like a Wolf that has regular eating challenges. And he called them in because the restaurant had been attacked twice once on the Monday night and once on the Wednesday, and it was then the Friday, and
Friday night.
We
were there.
You were there, and after a brief encounter with the police, you stopped the attack and had another brief encounter with the police, and then with the law enforcers, and then you managed to figure out that there was something strange going on, because if you remember your job was for three things. Number one, to stop the attacks. Number two, to figure out why the attacks were happening. And number three, if possible, to prevent them from happening in the future. Now, it was after Fhaze spent some time with the computer data in Hungry Like a Wolf that he figured out that there was some important delivery options were happening, in the sense that the restaurant was losing money, and they were ordering boxes of Jamil bugs, which are sort of like fiery hot that they use for their eating challenge, as well as scorpion chilies. Anyway, they found that there was a discrepancy between the ordering, and that the restaurant was ordering 10, but only 3 was arriving for the eating challenge, and hence they were losing money. Fhaze actually managed to trace who was actually delivering the Jamil bugs to the company, and he went to a company called Deliver to You. They actually went off and tried to face their way in with various degrees of success. They actually managed to get in. Billy Bob, they left the orc, because most people are quite racist against orcs in this awakened world. They left Billy Bob outside and went in. And actually, I think you actually posed that you were setting up a restaurant called Billy Bob Fantastico or something. Was that right?
Gourmet burgers.
Yeah, gourmet burgers. And you were doing very well until we asked for some performance checks, and then things went downhill from there, and you left and met up outside the van. Now, if you're watching the stream, you'll notice that on the clock, on the actual board just to my right, you'll see some little blue numbers, which is 10 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully I'm going to try to keep this up to date, and so we can see what time is actually passing. So it's currently 10 o'clock. It's currently 10 o'clock, and you guys are back outside. I'm just going to move you to the
map.
To the map where you were beforehand, which was here. And let me just stick on my time again, and let's just roll it to 10 o'clock so we know what time it is. There we go. We'll put that down there. So, I'll put it up here so you can see it a little bit bigger. There you go. So it's currently 10 o'clock in the morning. It's a 24-hour clock, so you'll be able to tell. And you guys are, good old army time for Billy Bob. So, yeah. So you understand what's going on. So we are there, and this is when I will pass back over to you guys to decide what you would actually like to do in today's adventure.
Right. First thing I want to do is I want to check the information that I got from Hungry Like a Wolf's computer.
Okay, yeah.
And I want to see whether or not I can work out how Deliver for You is actually paid. Whether or not they're paid directly by the head office for Hungry Like a Wolf, or whether or not they're paid by the restaurant itself.
Oh, right. So whether or not it comes from directly from head office or the thing. So that will actually be in the data file that you actually got. So just roll your computing and logic roll, and then we can see how many successes you have.
5.
5. Yeah, the information is actually they're paid directly from the individual establishments. So the payment actually comes straight from Hungry Like a Wolf, and hence that's how they knew they were doing losses within that establishment.
Right. Okay. The other thing that I want to say to Carrot and Billy Bob is, don't you think it's weird how we were hired? If you think about it.
This is our silence.
Okay, so this guy is a manager at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But somehow he's got a contact with Two Troll Johnson.
Very true.
And
Right.
to begin with, this has put a hot load of pigeons in my thinking, because originally I thought Two Troll Johnson was a fixer, a fence. So he's the one that gets the work. People comes to him. He then gets the people to do the work and takes a cut. And he's always this sort of like the contact which we have. But I think it's interesting to just think of how is he involved? You know, how has this restaurant manager, who doesn't have a lot about him, have contact with Two Troll Johnson?
How easy is it to get a contact like him?
It's, I mean, one, we don't know a lot about him, so, but I think it's something that we need to consider in the, you know, in the future of what exactly is Two Troll Johnson about. I am creating a data file on him with all the information that we've got, so I can fill you in on that later. Awesome. Right, so plan of action. I obviously need to get into Deliver to You's computer system on the Matrix. And I'm going to be searching for several bits of information when I'm in there.
Okay.
This is me telling Carrot and Billy Bob what I'm doing as well. So the first bit of information I'm going to be going for is to find out, at the moment, how it's done is that Hungry Like a Wolf is putting an order in to Deliver to You. Deliver to You must then put an order in with their suppliers, which is then comes into the airport, down the Thames on the barge, and is delivered. So there must be some type of paper trail of what they've put in as an order and what they've actually had delivered back. You know, what they've actually had. Now, if those match up, then say, for example, if Hungry Like a Wolf's order 10, and then Deliver to You's had 10, has placed an order for 10, and had 10 delivered on their delivery manifest.
So then the other boxes are being picked up somewhere else along the line.
Yeah,
what
that's
it
what I was
means
trying
is
to...
that we're then looking for, it's then to do with boxes rather than just money.
Yeah.
If it's the other way round, one other thing that I wanted to know, and this is just from me doing a quick calculation in Rus. When I was on Hungry Like a Wolf's computer, I got the personnel files with the addresses, etc.
Yeah.
I take it I got Jeremiah Crump's information from that as well.
Yeah, you got everyone's.
Okay, so working out where he lives and taking into account when the police rang him when they came in after the break-in, is the travel time about right?
Well, hang on, because you're making quite a lot of assumptions there. You're assuming that he was at home, I'm presuming.
I'm assuming that he was at home because it was, 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah. So, but you're assuming that he's at home.
I'm assuming. So the assumptions that I'm making is that he was at home. He probably had use of the van that he left us, that we're using now.
Yeah. So roll your computer roll. Just roll it this exactly what you've done before. Yeah, it totally works out. That's roughly the response time.
Right.
Okay.
Because that's the other thing. I need to work out whether or not there's who turned off the camera. Chances are it's not going to be another ganger. Chances are it's not going to be old Scarface from Casper's.
When someone touches something, is there like a fingerprint that is left there, like in the celestial world or whatever?
No.
Oh.
If they were magically active, there would have been a.
No, I don't mean in magic wise. I mean if like say you go into like the celestial world, would you be able to see the right? Okay.
No, there wouldn't be anything. Right. So, is there any other information that you two need for me to find out whilst I'm on?
So to check that, just double checking everything. To check that how many boxes of the Jamil bugs and scorpion chilies, or whatever they're called, are being ordered by deliver to you. Sorry. And then to see if that, and then from that we can tell if where it's being picked off, if you know what I mean. So if Deliver to You are ordering too few, then we know that there's something else going on there. We need to do further investigation with them. So there's that. And then maybe the delivery driver, if it's like a particular delivery driver on that route.
Well, the delivery driver who's doing that route was Mike, wasn't it? No, sorry, not Mike.
No.
Bill Blackhand.
Bill Blackhand.
Yeah. So if he's the standard delivery driver for that route, if you know what I mean, maybe because Mike sounds a bit dodgy anyway. So maybe if there's any details on their database left over from Mike, because obviously he was temporary manager for a couple of weeks, so he's got to have something in there in their database about him.
Well, the other thing
hasn't
is,
even turned up as well,
it might be from where he was hired as well.
Mm.
You know, right? We'll have I'll see what I can find on that as well. So when I'm doing that, what are you two going to be doing? And the only reason I say that is that when I'm going to be jacked into the Matrix, I'm going to be having an out-of-body experience. And
whereabouts are you hacking into?
Well, this is why I'm asking what these two are doing, because ideally I want to be as close to the property as possible, which will cut down on the noise that I'm going to get. So, I mean, really, I want to be keeping within sort of like a kilometre of the place if I can. But if you're going to go on sort of like, car chases and, leaving the van unattended, I don't really want to be doing that with me in the back without no hello notion.
I was just trying to think. The only other thing I could do is I know we haven't quite got there yet, but I could do another quick sweep of Casper's place to see if there's anything else I can find out there astrally.
Can you probe the thing with Casper's place is that at the moment, we don't even know whether or not the only thing that we know is that they're involved with some gangers breaking it up.
For those people who are new to the stream, Casper's place, one of the gangers actually ran off and fled back to a rather high-end nightclub with a huge mana barrier round it and gained access into it. And that's what they're talking about when they say Casper's place.
How strong was this mana barrier?
I didn't find out. That's one of the things I want to go and find out again.
But can you find out? Can you find out how powerful it is?
I should.
So, for example, in the Matrix, you have a host, okay, which is where I would gain access to computer files. So when I go to deliver to you, I go in through their host, which is sort of like their own computer system, and I can find out how powerful that host is by doing Matrix perception on it. Can you do the same type of thing with the barriers, or do you actually have to attack them to find out how much they resist?
Off the top of my head and out of character, correct me if I'm wrong in rules, I think I can do a test, some sort of test where I can observe it, and it gives me, depending on the successes, it will give me a rough idea about how much information I get.
Well, the thing is, you can probably sense it, and then that would be absolutely fine.
But I don't know whether or not we're going to gain anything from that.
Or if, depending on how powerful it is, I might be able to, or I could try and slip through either, because if it's, it depends on which plane it is. If it's on the astral plane as well, or if it's just in the physical plane, they can't be both. Isn't that right? I was watching something about that.
In fairness, we need to rule them out anyway for the fact of
hang on,
why are they attacking.
Sorry, what are you saying about the astral plane?
I watched last week. I watched that I can't remember the YouTuber that you've linked to a couple of times about mana barriers and physical barriers and that sort of thing. And he was talking about this is like me misremembering, but he was talking about that they can only be on one plane at a time, so they're either on the astral plane or the physical plane.
Yes, but for example, if you went through the mana barrier and you would have to actually penetrate it, matching your force against your opposed roll against its force. Once you passed through it, if you actually broke it, then they would actually know that the mana barrier had been broken, and the mage who cast it, and hence that would be immediately back to releasing spirits and attacking anything that's actually there. Once you've got behind the mana barrier, if you actually got inside, then you would be able to look around the place in the astral plane. But again, it would be all sort of like grey out. There wouldn't be any colours or letters or anything like that. So it depends whether or not. I think it comes down to the point of, do you want to risk breaking the mana barrier?
Yeah. Okay. My other question was also for Fhaze to find out when Deliver to do their have their deliveries put in, because obviously the place goes out on Wednesday for the bugs. And I was just thinking, no, it doesn't even matter that, because it's Saturday morning now. So
yeah, I mean, I suppose it does matter to find that. It'll also tell us, because as far as I was aware, Deliver to You only gets one delivery a week, and that's on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was misunderstanding, because I thought they had a delivery on a Monday, and that's where I was trying to work out.
Billy Bob, that information is correct, what you've just said there.
They did have a delivery on a Monday.
They do normally have a delivery on a Monday.
So they have 2 deliveries a week.
I just said that, Billy Bob, they do normally have a delivery on a Monday for the rest of the week. That's where the delivery normally
so it's
happens.
not a Wednesday?
No.
Their delivery is on a Monday.
From deliver to you, the delivery normally comes in on a Wednesday. There might be other deliveries throughout the week, but the delivery normally comes in on a Monday. Okay, guys, are you planning on doing? Are you going into?
I don't know. I'm
going to have to stay with the car anyway.
Right, so I'm. It looks like I'm jacking in here then.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you're going in. You're going to log in straight to the host from the van.
Well, I'm going to go onto the matrix straight from the.
Are you hot or cold or AR simming?
I'm at the moment. I'm just going in as normal cold sim.
Cool.
So I'm going to, because I'm on the public grid, I'm going to be at -2 on noise.
Yeah.
I'm also going to be. I'm also going to be -1 because of the area that I'm in.
Okay.
So I'm at -3. I'm within 100
meters.
100 meters of it, so that's no penalty. So when I jack in, I'm going to be running my signal scrub program, which is giving me +2 to my noise reduction.
Okay.
And I'm also going to be running my data jack on wireless, which is giving me a +1. So that's going to cancel out.
Okay.
So my persona when I go onto the matrix is a like a blue translucent humanoid that has sort of like circuitry on his skin.
And which programs are you carrying?
At the moment, I am running virtual machine,
cool,
signal scrub, and basically what that's doing at the moment, because there's so much noise. Very occasionally, my actual persona. Do you know when you get it so that it's like you get interference on like a hologram or anything, and it sort of like
shimmers,
crackles, sort of like it. So that's what's happening with the noise at the moment. My persona sort of like occasionally sort of like goes a bit iffy, but what the signal scrub is doing, it's sort of like sending a light from my feet up to my head and then back down again, and it's sort of like clearing any of the signal. Yep. So it does that every sort of like 15-20 seconds. It's just clearing the static, the noise generation that there is in the area.
Cool.
The other thing that
are you running baby monitor?
I'm not running any type of monitor at the moment.
Okay then, so I'll just move my Overwatch counter to another layer so you can't actually see it. Okay.
Perception, here we go. We get 3 successes.
Yeah, so you can have three pieces of information, can't you? So you figure that the deliver to you host is about a rating 3. Remember, the highest rating is actually rating 12. So it's quite low end. Most public sites are about 1 or 2. You would expect things like this to have a rating 3. If it was more commercial and more money swapping hands, then you'll probably find that it would be a rating 4. Okay then. And what was the other thing? Oh yes, you think that the firewall is probably the highest rating thing on this host, and it's probably operating at about a firewall 6, because obviously it's going to be the main line of defense, because to prevent people getting in.
Okay, and the last bit of information I'll take is I'll see what the attack is like.
Yeah, it's very low. It's just matching the host at 3.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to have to see whether or not I can get into it. So I'm going to swap around on my deck a bit, and I'm going to switch my data processing and my Fhaze program, and I'm also going to load in my exploit, which is increasing my hack on the fly attempt.
Cool.
And
so
I'm going to touch.
Are you hacking on the fly? Yeah.
I'm going to hack on the fly. So I'm going to.
Right. Okay.
I'm not going to log into this thing. I'm going to touch it.
So people who are watching the stream, generally for a decker to actually get into a host, he has 2 options. He can either attack it or he can hack on the fly. Hack on the fly is more sort of like the stealthy way in, while attack is more sort of like wham bam, thank you man, let's force my way in there. There are advantages and disadvantages of both of them. If you attack and you fail and you don't get enough successes, then you are immediately dumped from the system and your deck takes damage. If you hack on the fly and don't actually succeed, then the host succeeds, then it puts what's known as a mark on you, and that is a recognition piece of software, so it can then start to identify you. The other thing to remember is that you also have what's known as an Overwatch score that will start to increase once he's in or out of the host. So yeah, go for it. Roll your hack on the fly. So you are doing hacking plus logic, yeah?
I am indeed. I am doing.
Are you just going for 1 mark?
I'm going for 1 mark, because that's 1 mark is all I need to.
Correct. Yeah.
To get in, so I'm going for 1 mark, but I'm also going to pre-edge it as well.
Okay, then. So pre-edging it means that he'll do, the limit is taken away from it, so there's no limit to it. And also what it allows him to do is explode his 6s. So if he gets any 5 or 6s, he'll be able to roll them again in order to increase the number of success he actually gets.
And I'm also rolling more dice. Because I can add on my edge as well.
Yeah, cool.
That's correct, yeah?
Yeah.
I got 10 successes.
So you actually got 10 successes. This is my roll coming up. I got 4, which means you successfully put your mark onto it, and currently you are not actually recognized by the host. So you successfully hacked on the fly. So now Fhaze has a mark on the actual login on the host, so he can actually now pass into the host as if he's a legitimate user. The only downside of it is that he will actually be aware now that his Overwatch score has started to increase, and so he's currently got 4 points. Once you get to 40, then people start to think, hang on a minute, you've been doing something naughty here, and they send either demigods or gods down who just basically terminate your connection, and you get what's known as dump shock. Okay.
So I'm just going to materials.
What is your mark? What is your mark?
My mark, when I touch it, it's like a triangle, but it's a circuitry triangle, and it has at the vertices it's sort of like bright pinpoints of light.
Okay, then.
And it actually matches up with the mark that's actually on my hand.
Cool. So,
but once I've got the mark on it, I can actually now interact with this lock as normal, can't I? So I can just, can I can I sort of like materialize a not logging in card and just log in to get in?
Exactly. So once you get your mark, you suddenly find that materializing in your hand is a timestamp card. Because you've automatically got a mark on it now, so it sees you as a legitimate user. So all you need to do now is pop it in, and you can enter the host. Are you running silently, by the way?
I'm still running silently. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So I shall clock in.
Excellent.
Log on.
So once you clock in, you notice that the corrugated sort of like rollerblade actually dissolve slightly to allow you to actually enter. And once you enter into the host, you see it slowly materialize behind you once again.
Okay, so what do I see inside?
Oh, yeah, you see this huge white room. And in the white room, it's literally a whole load of like white cubes. And it seems to be as if there are like crates, and they're sort of like right the way down long corridors, and it seems to stretch off for miles. They're just like big white cubes, and you can see various like forklift trucks going between these and moving around and sort of like going. You notice that the forklift trucks don't actually have wheels. They just seem to have this glow, and they seem to be going up to a block, taking something out, moving it somewhere else, and just sort of like, and then just moving it right the way around all the time.
Okay, so I'm going to walk to the middle of the room.
Yeah, well, as you start to walk, the room is incredibly long, and it just seems to go on for infinity. And sure as you start walking away from the door, you actually find yourself miles away from the door at the other end.
Right.
It's as if it's like a huge optical illusion that just goes on forever.
Oh. Right, well, I need to find out where these files are. So would that be a matrix search, or would that be perception?
No, because once you're in the host, you can find anything that you want. It's automatically visible, as unless it's hidden, and
right.
then you would need to roll for it to see whether or not it's hidden. So what files are you looking for?
The first thing I'm looking for is I want to find orders placed by Deliver to You with their suppliers, in particular Jamil bugs, scorpion chilies, over the last 3 weeks. Okay,
so what you're doing then is that you're looking for things to do with orders. Okay, and what you actually do is that you actually you notice that when you stretch out your hand, a little pad appears virtually, and you just type in orders, and you notice that one of these trucks goes up and picks up one of these blocks and comes back round and just sort of like drops it in front of you, then goes off and to do its rest of its business.
Okay, I want to I'm going to have a look at this bot. I'm not going to open it. I'm going to put my hand close to it, and again these bits of circuitry will come out of my hand and sort of like start going round it, and almost like they're probing it just to see whether or not there's any dangerous bits in it, like data bombs, anything like that.
So what matrix action are you doing?
It's a matrix perception.
Okay then.
I'm looking for
hidden files.
I'm looking for hidden files, but in particular data spikes or anything like that. I'm correct in saying that the icons in the host share the same ratings as the host.
Yeah.
So this is going to have a firewall of 6. Is that correct?
The firewall within the host is 6, yeah. But your matrix perception is not. It's actually resisted via sleaze.
Right.
Okay.
I got 2.
Yeah. You actually you don't see anything that's actually. There seems to be no traps. It just seems to be a data file.
Okay, so I'm swapping my programs around again, and I'm going to try to get a mark on it.
Okay.
So I'm going to put my hand on it. I've got my sleaze program running again. So it's the sleaze program's actually, again, it's all this circuitry coming out, and it's looking for a weak spot to see whether or not it can find it. I'm not edging this one.
So you're hacking on the fly then?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's bad.
Okay, yeah. You get a mark on this data file.
Can I tell whether or not the file has been altered in any way? When was the last edit from it done?
Well, seconds ago. Because you're looking at orders, so the order files will be constantly being updated.
Oh, right. It's not the specific order for delivered to you.
No, you
right. Okay. No, that's fine. Then.
And it's 11 o'clock in the morning, so there's lots of traffic going backwards and forwards, and you can see that boxes are being moved all over the place, and everything is sort of like working away.
Okay, so I've got a mark on it now. Yeah.
Yeah, you certainly have.
Is it like a filing cabinet?
No, it's just like a box. It's just like a white default box.
Okay, I'll take the lid off the box.
Yeah, well, you just
got files inside.
You just press it, and it just sort of like flicks open. You can see that there's a whole load of like blue data rolling around in there, and it seems to be constantly changing and moving around. You can see numbers and you can see names, and it's all sort of like moving around all the time.
Okay, I'm going to try to find a specific bit of information that I need.
Okay, then, which is the orders for
deliver to you has placed 4 hungry like the wolf.
Okay, so just
hungry like a wolf.
Yeah, just do an edit file test. So it's going to be computer versus logic, and I'll do my intuition via firewall.
Oh, sorry, I'm just cancelling that. I wish there was a way to stop it coming up with specialization. No, that's bad.
Okay, you sort of like try to access it, and you reach in and you try desperately to find things, and you try to do it, and when you come out, your hands are just literally empty. They're literally, there's nothing in there at all.
Okay, I'm I want to check my Overwatch score.
It's currently yeah, go for it. You need to roll it, don't you? if
Yeah.
you haven't got anything on it. Do, 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 do. So I'm just looking at my cheat sheet to see what it is. 6 dice. Yeah, it's 13.
13.
Yeah. You suddenly notice that there seems to be come into existence almost like a box-like, almost like a 1980s box-like robot with flashing red lights. Flashing red lights that's sort of like walking, moving around.
But it's not heading directly towards me.
No, you figured that it's actually starting to you figure that it's actually starting to patrol, and actually started to patrol round the place.
Okay, I'm going to try to grab this file again.
Excellent, go for it.
I'm edging it. Edit file, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I am not specialized.
Okay, this time you stick your fingers in and it sort of like rummages around, and you bring it out and you notice that it's got it's got sort of like, oh yeah, you've actually got the file now. You've got the order to and from delivery from you to Hungry Like a Wolf.
But I can't look at it now, can I? Is it encrypted?
No, it's not encrypted at all.
So just mind you, I don't want to be doing that inside. I can have a look at that outside. So I've got this order. I'm just going to shrink it down into sort of like the size of a data chip, and I'm just going to pop it into the side of my head.
Can you roll for me, please, an intuition plus firewall skill?
Intuition, firewall, intuition for firewall 3, 7.
Three successes. Okay, all of a sudden you notice that this robot that is being sort of like patrolling around seems to fire a small sort of like black sticky ball at you, and it actually comes towards you, but at the last minute you just sort of like lean back, and it just fires and it just whacks itself onto the side of the wall that materialized next to you, and then it stays there. It goes for a while, and then it just dissipates.
What do I reckon it is? A trace, some type of trace?
It's some kind of
tar?
ice. You've definitely triggered some intrusion countermeasures in here. What do you wish to do with this file? Did you want to download it?
I'm downloading it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm changing it into like a data chip, and I'm just popping it into my head.
Cool then. So is that actually a skill to download it?
No. I think I've got it.
Yeah. So it just downloads into your deck for future use. Can you roll your intuition and firewall again, please, for me?
I don't know how many dice did I roll last time. 7. Four successes.
Okay, this robot fires another one at you, and it again you move at the last minute, and it goes shooting past you and sort of like sticks onto onto the wall. It pulsates for a while, and then it slowly dissipates.
Okay, I'm jacking out.
Okay.
So I'm switching to switching modes, and I'm just jacking out.
Yeah. Cool.
Do you want me to do the roll for it?
Yeah. I was just seeing what I actually oppose it with. Do you just, jack out, yeah. Oh no, you only need to only roll if link locked.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have, nothing's on you, so that's absolutely fine. Yeah. So you actually leave the host with your file intact.
Okay, so I'm turning off the wireless on my data jack,
Okay.
and I'm rebooting
Okay.
my cyber deck.
Yeah. You didn't have any marks on you, so don't worry.
No, but most deckers will reboot after.
Yeah, and your mark on delivery to you automatically gets removed now.
Right. Okay. I'll tell the other two that I've got the delivery manifest from Deliver to Use website Deliver to Use computer files to say what they've actually ordered.
Yeah.
So I'll check it out now. I don't know whether or not they want to. Are you going to drive somewhere, or what's the plan?
Yeah, where to, my lady?
Well, what time is it now? It's 11 o'clock. How long is it going to take me to go through this file?
It depends what you're looking for.
Right. Let's head back to my apartment, and we'll have a look at it. We'll have a look at it there and decide what we're going to do next.
Roger.
Cool.
Just make sure that we're not being followed.
Who's driving?
Billy Bob.
So Billy Bob, if you roll your the handling of the van, which is actually, just so you know, is actually 3, and your intuition. If you add those together and then roll it, and then we'll see.
Right. So skills.
No, if you go into your main and get
main.
your intuition.
Intuition.
Under attributes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 down.
You got it.
And then just use the normal roll down at the bottom. What's your intuition?
5.
So you're rolling 8 dice. So go to your macro buttons that are set up. You know where extended is.
Yeah, extended test.
Yeah, no. So you're doing the one that says normal roll.
I knew that. Yeah, normal roll.
And then just put 8 in the dice. And situation modifier, just leave how it is.
Okay, so you head off back to Phaze's apartment. Yeah. You don't think you're being followed at all? Oh, hang on there.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, don't.
Okay, yeah, you don't think you're being followed at all.
Okay. Right, so once we get there, I want to start having a look at this this file that I downloaded.
Okay, then roll your computer plus logic. Okay, it's quite an easy easy file to read. So, I mean, what information would you like from it?
So, the first bit of information. How many deliveries of Jamil bugs and scorpion chilies does Hungry Like a Wolf receive from deliver to you per week?
Right. So exactly what happens is that the actual order, 10 boxes are actually ordered. 10 boxes are actually ordered through the system. 10 boxes arrive, and then Hungry Like a Wolf actually take delivery of 3. And that's all they take a delivery of. However, last week, on the week that you're actually in on the Friday, on the Monday, on the Friday 10 arrived. On the Monday, 10 went out in the van, and on Tuesday 10 were actually delivered and were taken receipt of in Hungry Like a Wolf.
10 went out on Monday, but they weren't signed for till Tuesday.
Correct. Just out of interest, the other thing that is really interesting, the delivery in the file, the delivery in and out is always signed off by Roger Lancer. However, this week it was actually signed in and out by Mark Darwin, who is the person who Robert Lancer was saying is no longer that covered him for that week's sick. And then it's gone back to Roger Lancer. Roger Lancer appears to be the foreman who actually always signs things in and out.
So the week before, they ordered 10.
They ordered 10. 10 arrive.
Delivery for you ordered 10 from... Hungry Like a Wolf placed an order for 10 boxes.
Correct.
Deliver for you placed an order with their suppliers for 10 boxes.
Correct.
10 boxes arrived.
Correct.
And then on the Monday, 10 went out.
Which day are we talking about?
This is the week previous.
No.
When nothing happened.
3 went out.
3 went out.
Well, yeah, the 3 were taken in delivery at
receipt.
Yeah, but
it doesn't show how many were loaded up on the van.
3.
3.
So 10 came in and 3 went out.
So 7 went missing from the warehouse.
It would appear from the order.
It would appear so. And then this last week, 10 went out on a Monday.
10 were ordered. 10 arrived at delivery to you. 10 went out on the Monday. However, normally 3 would go out on a Monday, and 3 would be delivered. The Hungry Like a Wolf would take receipt of those 3 on a Monday. Okay, but what happened was 10 went out on the Monday. However, there was no receipt of delivery on that Monday. It was on the Tuesday when 10 were actually received at Hungry Like a Wolf. Just out of interest.
Someone's fiddling the papers.
Just out of interest, Fhaze, you also notice, because it's Friday and it's just gone, it's about 12 o'clock now, there is actually this week's order has actually come in for 10 boxes.
And when's that due to go out? Monday?
Yeah.
Sounds like someone's diddling the papers.
It still doesn't make sense to me. Does it make sense to you too?
It makes sense to me.
Well, yeah.
So it's got to be someone from the company.
No, I can't even. I can't even work out the boxes.
Which bit phase do you not understand? 10 are ordered.
Yeah.
You got that bit?
Yeah.
10 comes in from that order.
Yeah.
So via barge, automated barge comes in.
Yeah.
But normally only 3 is put on the delivery van.
So 7 disappear when they arrive.
Well,
apart from last week. So that must mean
on pickup, 10 is picked up from the barge and loaded onto the wagon and taken back to delivery to you.
Yeah, the barge stop is just off this map. So this whole establishment is right next to the river.
Right.
So 10 are ordered, 10 arrive on the barge, 10 are picked up and brought into the delivery bays here. Okay, and then what happens then is that for some unknown reason, this then would be put onto the lorries, delivery lorries that will appear here, and then they would go off and deliver to various people. And so what's happening, 10 are being ordered, 10 are arriving. Okay. However, only 3 are being loaded onto the delivery van. And then only 3 are being taken in receipt at Hungry Like a Wolf.
Okay.
So that
Chuggerwugger, just make a hacking roll, please.
Just hacking by itself?
Plus intuition.
Intuition?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, I need to change it. Intuition.
So I reckon it's
8 successes. Fantastic. You actually notice that you're looking at the primary data. And you suddenly realize that there is a layer of data above this that you forgot to check out, which actually has 10 floating above the 3. So if somebody was looking at it on the actual computer screen, it would say 10. But you're actually looking at the raw data. So if you had gone into the actual computer but
that's the same as Hungry Like a Wolf. Somebody actually, going back to the data that I got from Hungry Like a Wolf, somebody was covering up how they just adjusting the stock, as in we ordered 10 but we didn't get 10, we only got 3,
right?
It sounds like the delivery delivered 3 boxes.
Okay, the information you got from Hungry Like a Wolf was that you knew that they ordered 10 boxes but only had 3 delivery. There was only 3 receipt of delivery. And you also know that Hungry Like a Wolf is actually losing money. You also, if you remember, I said that the system is very archaic and very old, and that it could be that people are not remembering what they ordered or when they ordered it, or not checking it off properly. But they seem to be losing money. But Jeremiah Crump, if you remember, had no idea why he was losing money.
Right.
The other important information that you've got now is the fact that on Monday of this week, before you were employed, 10 came in, 10 were put onto the delivery van. 10. Okay? And Hungry Like a Wolf took delivery of 10.
And then the place was broken into on Monday.
But if you remember, they took delivery of 10 on the Tuesday. which is 1 day later than what normally happens.
So they took delivery of 10 on the Monday.
No.
10 was, no, they took 3, but they said that 10 was chucked on the wagon. 10 was delivered.
10 was put on this Monday. 10 was put on the wagon to be delivered, but nothing was delivered to Hungry Like a Wolf on the Monday, as usual. The delivery appeared to be taken receipt of on the Tuesday, when 10 were taken receipt of, and not 3. So the full amount was taken receipt of on this week, but it wasn't taken receipt of on the Monday. It was taken receipt of on the Tuesday.
And that was signed for by Foreman Wiser, delivered for you to you by Mark Darwin, rather than Lancer as normal.
The 10 that was put in and out, that came 10, was actually authorized by Mark Darwin. Well, the 10 that always goes to a 3 was always authorized by Roger Lancer.
Okay.
So the bits of information that we now need to work out, as far as I can see it, is 1, what's happening to these other 7 boxes, and why were the 10 not delivered on the Monday? Silence.
It's right. The delivery was made on the Monday.
No, it wasn't.
No,
but they're saying it was delivered on the Tuesday, or taken for on the Tuesday.
I think it was supposed to be delivered on the Monday, but it didn't take place. Hence that's why the break-in was on that Monday. They thought that the goods were there, and they thought that there had been too many boxes delivered. So they went to get them and couldn't find them. But so then it got put in on the Tuesday, but the next break-in was until the Wednesday.
Yeah.
So they obviously, whoever hired the thugs or the criminals or whatever you want to call them to break in were told.
Is there CCTV on the docks?
Yeah,
I didn't check.
There's CCTV right through. I think at the last adventure that we had, you actually mentioned that, Billy Bob, and Fhaze said, yeah, he could check that, but also erase the images of them actually arriving at the office.
Wouldn't it be a good idea to check the tapes on that Monday or when the delivery came in, to make sure that 10 went on the 10? Wait, no, that 10.
Look, we know that things have gone bad because of Lancer wasn't there.
Yeah.
Because this Mark Darwin was in charge. Lancer wasn't there.
Okay, what about if this Lancer was the bloke I seen running out of the restaurant that time?
No, there wasn't.
He was the boss at Casper's, wasn't he? Because you gave this description to the thugs, and they said, "Oh yeah, that's him, boss man."
Yeah, that's the boss. They didn't say his name.
Right.
Or it's got something to do with them.
Okay, so let's just take the information that we've got now. It's obviously something's happening that delivered to you. They're skimming 7 boxes off the order and doing something with it. Okay. Now, we know that we can probably assume now that It's nothing to do with smuggling. Because why not, when the goods come in, say for example it was, I don't know, some type of drug that they were smuggling in using the Jamil bugs to mask the odor or whatever for any checks by the police. All they would do would be to take it out at the warehouse, put the lids back on the box, and deliver the boxes as normal. And so that no suspicion was aroused with Hungry Like a Wolf.
Although it does depend where the drugs were.
Yeah.
For example, your reasoning phase would follow through if the drugs were just piled up on the top. But if
they were actually within the bugs,
then that would not be possible.
So what would have?
Did you say these bugs are used for like a aphrodisiac or something?
They're rich in vitamin B. That's what they are, and they're actually semi-alive as well, even after cooking, and very stinky.
Do we know when Deliver to You are going to take their next delivery of the Jamil bugs?
It's in. It came in today.
Came in today.
No, it's Friday, so they've ordered 10 boxes for next week, for Monday.
Okay.
So it'll actually come in on Monday.
Okay.
It's currently 1:00 on Friday.
Okay. It's just all I was thinking was, because obviously they're alive, I could see them on the astral plane, so I could float in on the Monday and actually watch to see what happens, because I can actually follow each individual bug, essentially, because they're alive. So I should be able to see them, I would have thought.
Yeah,
on the astral plane.
There's absolutely, remember, there's sort of like hundreds of them packed in one little box, so you'll probably be able to follow boxes.
That's what I meant. Yeah, so I'd be able to follow the boxes. So if they've ordered 10, obviously 7 have got to go missing, so then I'll be able to see 3 go onto the truck, and then I can be able to follow the 7.
The truck.
And then I can follow the 7 that go somewhere else, because they're obviously ordering 10 boxes still. So there's 7 boxes have got to go somewhere.
This is what I was trying to explain in Disco.
But that requires waiting till Monday to do.
Yeah, so I mean that's the thing. Unless the boxes were physically there, we've got nothing to. But we don't know whether or not the boxes are physically. They could still be in the warehouse.
Yeah, so I can pop back now and check to see if they're actually still there. So it won't take me that long. So I can actually project now and then go straight to the delivery place, look around to see if I can find them, because they're going to be, because most of the other stuff they do is pastes and stuff, so there's not going to be much stock that's actually alive, I would have thought, in their warehouse currently. So if those 7 boxes are real, and if they are still in the Delivered to You warehouse, I should be able to find them.
Right. Well, I mean, if you can do that, then do it. I mean, at least if they're alive, at least if they're still there, we can keep the place under surveillance. If
they're still there, but that delivery might have already gone. And if that delivery has already gone, then we're going to have to wait till Monday to the next delivery. But we can then still do the same thing for.
But I think we're going to be out of time by then as well, aren't we? Because our original thing was to guard it for the next 2 nights, wasn't it? So last night and tonight, which is Friday, and then to stop it, to find out why the attacks were happening, and to prevent it, to resolve the situation so that the restaurant is no longer targeted.
It's Saturday.
When is it? Is it Saturday to?
It's Friday.
Yeah,
it's Friday at 1 o'clock at the present moment in time.
Right.
Oh, sorry. I thought we was at the thing. We was there Friday.
Yeah,
And then
No, we got
it's
called in the
next
day
morning.
after the second attack, which was the Thursday. So we were there Thursday night.
and then the next morning.
It's now Friday, so we got to do it Friday night.
So, Carrot, do you wish to actually go?
I do.
Okay,
Yeah,
then.
I'd like to go and have a look round now currently to see what's in there. See if I
Okay,
can find the
so
boxes.
As you can see from the layout, there's quite a number of rooms to actually search because, of course, although you're on Astral, the walls still do exist. So you still have to sort of like go through each one. There's just roll your sensing score for me, please.
I shall do. Two.
With a glitch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't show up on ours.
No, that's why I'm saying it, because I know it doesn't. You can see a glitch, so you must one of those must be, yeah, because most of them are ones. So you spend your time walking through all the walls, trying to avoid living beings as well. There's quite good morale in this place. Everybody seems to be very happy. People seem to be working quite well. There seems to be no disgruntled sort of like people. There's a bit of emotions going on round in the delivery area, but it could be perceived probably as stress, or rather than people being very cross. You actually search the whole area, each and every room, and there seems to be no living things contained in boxes on the site at all. It is just at the end of it when you suddenly think, I can leave here. And as you come out of delivery to you, you do notice that somebody's watching you and appears on the astral plane. Appears to be completely on the astral plane. They're not astral. They are projecting, but they're not manifested. They're actually on the astral plane, and does seems to be some kind of being. They seem to have like a hooded cowl up, and they just seem to be watching you. And then as soon as you sort of like acknowledge that they're there, they just go and quickly move like anything, and then disappear off using maximum astral movement.
Okay. Have I still got like a few moments? How long left have I got? Because I can only actually project for about half an hour, isn't it?
You can manifest for half an hour.
Sorry.
You can actually project for your magic in hours.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to take a longer route back to my body, keeping an eye out for the hooded cowled person and any other person that could be taking particular interest in me.
Yeah. Okay then.
Just so they don't so they can't follow me straight back, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So as you're coming back, Fhaze, you have a call on your comlink from Two Troll Johnson, as you call him, Mr. Pinkerton. He actually calls you. Fhaze, are you picking up, Si?
Oh yes.
Fhaze.
I'll say Fhaze.
Fhaze, my good man, I have somewhat of a job for you, if you are available.
We are on the job at the moment. What is it that that you have?
Well, you did so well with the Chi Yang missing persons that I've actually got for you, would you believe, another missing person for you to locate. I'm sure
it's not Mark Darwin, is it?
Well, I'm not too sure. All I've got is a contact name of somebody called, let me just find it here. called Maggie Brewster. She's quite an elderly lady, but I actually know, would you believe, her father, from way back, Maggie Brewster, she lives in an apartment block called the Supporting Sanctuary Apartments, and she is willing to meet you today, if at all possible. And she has instructed me to give you the usual 3,000 credits if you choose to accept the job and find the person she's looking for. Obviously,
whereabouts does she want to meet?
Actually, at her apartment. And please, Fhaze, consider this a family friend. And this is coming from my own pocket. I almost owe her in the nicest possible way, you understand. But please,
whilst you're on, thanks very much for putting our names forward for the other job at the restaurant.
Not a problem.
Much appreciated.
Not a problem.
So, what time does Maggie Brewster want to meet?
I'll send her number to you. Please contact her directly. And Fhaze, remember, family friend.
Can you send a number to? Oh, I'll pass it on to Carrot. That's all right. Send a number through to my com, and I'll pass it on.
He does so. He just sent you the the number and Maggie Brewster's address, which is 47A Supporting Sanctuary Apartments.
Supporting Sanctuary.
Supporting Sanctuary Apartments. Oh, Fhaze, before you go. Also, you notice that 1,000 credits has been put into all your online banking in one fair swoop to both Fhaze, Carrot, and Billy Bob. And he just says, please do a good job.
I hate this book.
Am I back in my body yet?
Yes, you are back.
Cool. In that case, I'm going to fill in both Fhaze and Billy Bob. I had a good look around the deliver to you. Although I found some other bits and pieces out about the staff, I didn't see the any sign of the missing boxes. That might mean that they're not actually. Well, obviously they're not there. So we're going to have to, if we're going to follow that, we're going to have to wait till Monday when the next delivery comes in.
Right. Well, Two Troll Johnson's been on the com again. He's also got another job for us to do, locating of a missing person. Our contact there is Maggie Brewster. Sounds like an old lady, personal friend of Two Troll.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've just seen that the money's gone into my account. Okay.
Right, we need to decide what we're doing.
Okay, guys, while we do that, we are going to take the first break of the evening. We will be back in approximately 10 minutes. So please do go off, have a walk, grab something to eat or drink, and we will be back in precisely 10 minutes. And until then, I'm going to leave you with some wonderful music to listen to.